Deadpool 3, everything we know so far about the upcoming Deadpool sequel. Hello and welcome back to another marvelous video. Ryan Reynolds recently stunned the internet when he announced that Hugh Jackman would reprise his role as Wolverine in Deadpool 3. Jackman first portrayed Wolverine in 2000's X-Men and revisited the character countless times over the period of 17 years in numerous X-Men and Wolverine films, culminating with the release of Logan in 2017. Logan represented an epic dramatic finale to the actor's stint in the role, with the character dying but his legacy continuing through his daughter Laura. Meanwhile, it looked that with Disney's acquisition of 20th Century Fox and the conclusion of the X-Men film series, the X-Men would recast inside the MCU, with the lone exception being Deadpool, whom Kevin Feige stated would feature in the MCU and whose film would be rated R. While Deadpool's inclusion in the MCU is significant, the character's third feature picture required a strong hook, and it seems Reynolds' amusing internet rivalry with his good friend Jackman has finally paid off. So let's check out what we know so far and what we can expect in the future. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a very small click for you, but for us, it means a whole lot. So thank you, and let's begin.
Give me back my skee-ball token.
Deadpool 3 release date. Sean Levy, the director of Deadpool 3, has already collaborated with Reynolds on Free Guy, The Atom Project, and Jackman on Real Steel, so it feels like it's already a friendly reunion. However, there might be a more critical reason why Jackman ultimately chose to reapply his clause after having sworn off the notion for so long. Deadpool 3 will be released on September 6th, 2024. At least that's what they're saying, and while it is a notable major movie to be released on Labor Day weekend, the year is also noteworthy. Wolverine was created by Roy Thomas, Len Wein, and John Romita Sr. and debuted on the final page before making its first complete appearance and appearing on the cover of The Incredible Hulk number 181. So, the 50th anniversary of Wolverine's initial appearance in Marvel Comics will be 2024. Hugh Jackman is returning back in Deadpool 3. Given that Hugh Jackman is the name most audiences associate with the character, it makes sense to have him reprise his role as Wolverine for the milestone before eventually casting a new actor to be the official Wolverine of the MCU, probably in time for Phase 7 to usher in a new era of the MCU focused on the X-Men. Marvel clearly wants to do something big for the character's 50th anniversary, as it is a significant milestone for the character. But we saw Logan dying in the last movie, right? So how are they going to bring back a character from the dead? In the teaser, they did hint at holding the narrative as a separate entity, but we will see. How are they going to bring Wolverine into the story? Before Disney acquired Fox, Ryan Reynolds said on Twitter that his original vision for Deadpool 3's plot was for it to be a road trip movie starring Wade Wilson and Wolverine. It would tell a Rashomon-style tale where the same incident is seen from the views of many characters in an effort to improve their own image. In the Wolverine Deadpool 3 announcement, Reynolds joked that bringing Hugh Jackman back was the only concept he had, which might be consistent with his earlier tale disclosure. More precisely, considering Wolverine's involvement, the plot of Deadpool 3 may revolve around destroying Fox's X-Men universe. Wade Wilson was shown utilizing time travel in the climactic scene of Deadpool 2 to murder the mute Deadpool from X-Men Origins, Wolverine. That might be utilized as a framework for Deadpool to travel the cosmos and eliminate other characters from Fox's X-Men series, maybe in an effort to clear out the chaotic history of the franchise. Hugh Jackman's mutant might be on the hunt for Deadpool to attempt to stop him, or Wolverine could play a role as somebody Deadpool needs to murder but does not want to. Deadpool Kills the Marvel World, a 4-part miniseries written by Cullen Bunn in 2011, provides comic book precedent for the notion that Deadpool may wipe out an entire universe. It caused Wade Wilson, who had been indoctrinated by a criminal scientist, to embark on a violent spree throughout the comic's narrative. The X-Men's decision decision to confine Deadpool to an institution to help him led to this outcome. The narrative of Deadpool 3, which loosely resembles the comic but centers on Wade Wilson destroying Fox's X-Men brand and running away to the MCU, may serve as a fitting conclusion to the original world and essentially serve as a soft relaunch for Deadpool's future. Deadpool 3 cast. Naturally, Ryan Reynolds is going to return as Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, and now that we know Hugh Jackman, who will be making his MCU debut as Wolverine, will be joining him, we know he's got some significant competition. Although the specific canonical workings are yet to be known, we anticipate there will be some multiversal antics. Reynolds has already made an MCU commercial alongside Korg from Thor Ragnarok and Avengers Assemble Flight Force cameo. I think this pretty much solidifies that he is part of the MCU now. The X-Force squad in Deadpool 2 introduced us to a variety of new heroes as well, and even if some didn't make it, we might see characters like Cable, portrayed by Josh Brolin, and Domino, played by Zazie Beetz again. If we see the X-Force again, they'll likely be joined by the other colleagues like Negasonic Teenage Warhead, played by Brianna Hildebrand, Russell, played by Julian Dennison, Colossus, played by Stefan Kapicic, and Yukio, played by Shioli Kutsuna, maybe with Peter, Rob Delaney, at their side. Even if it's improbable that characters like Zeitgeist, played by Bill Skarsgård, and Shatterstar, played by Louis Tan, will show up in Deadpool 3, it's never a guarantee because in comic books, heroes routinely outlast their deadliest adversaries. Leslie Uggams, who plays Blind Al, and Ryan Reynolds had a tweet conversation that led us to believe that Blind Al will be returning. Al is a slender elderly woman who is blind, as her name indicates. Her origin is never explained in detail. She is one of the characters who was introduced in Deadpool issue number 1. Disney executives called the allegations against TJ Miller's Weasel troubling, thus he won't be appearing in this movie. Vanessa, Deadpool's girlfriend, is one character who has escaped death in the franchise if Deadpool 2's post-credit sequence is canon, and it's reasonable to assume that she'll return for the sequel as well. However, Morena Baccarin has not confirmed anything yet. Chris Hemsworth, who collaborated with Reese and Wernick on Spiderhead, may be persuaded to appear as Thor if they return as writers for the film. There are also rumors that Tom Holland's Spider-Man may make an appearance in the movie as well. Is Deadpool 3 going to be R-rated under Disney? With a combined global revenue of approximately $780 million, the Deadpool films are the highest grossing X-Men movies of all time. Before Disney purchased 20th Century Fox, the first two movies, which debuted in 2016 and 2018, were distributed by that company. Deadpool and Disney make for an intriguing combination. A lot of people have been anxiously awaiting news about Deadpool 3 to learn about the potential collaboration between the previously owned by Fox Entertainment's group Deadpool and the Disney-owned Marvel Studios. Kevin Feige has stated that Deadpool 3 will be an MCU film and would maintain its R rating, at first, for the franchise. We now get our glimpse of this unusual duo, but an even more stranger and intriguing pair comes in the form of Reynolds and Jackman. In a recent statement, Feige said he was delighted to introduce a totally new sort of character to the MCU, and Deadpool is both that and not. Wade Wilson and Ryan Reynolds both fit in very well with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The franchise has already been stretching the boundaries with films like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. The obvious next step is this. After all, there are plenty of family-friendly selections among the many films in the MCU. We can't wait for what is undoubtedly in store for us with Deadpool 3, especially with Hugh Jackman and Wolverine in the mix. There's little question that Wolverine will be unlike anything we've ever seen before. Wolverine, played by Hugh Jackman, has already featured in an R-rated film. However, we suspect Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine and Logan in Deadpool 3 will seem quite different. Jackman has already stated that he is no longer interested in playing the character of Wolverine. However, we suppose that Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool and the MCU's Siren song lured him back. The R-rated nature of Deadpool 3 certainly does offer up a lot of new adventures for the MCU. We wonder if other heroes will be allowed to fight a little more brutally, or if Deadpool will remain a standalone R-rated arm. We'll just have to wait and see, I suppose. Although the MCU hasn't confirmed it yet, Deadpool 3 may represent the start of Phase 6 of the MCU. Marvelous verdict. It's hard to imagine, but it will have been 24 years since the debut of the first X-Men when Hugh Jackman plays Wolverine in Deadpool 3. This is a remarkable achievement, comparable to the original Star Trek ensemble continuing to portray their famous roles 25 years after the series' debut. One of the first superhero films of the contemporary period was the X-Men series, and Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine cast a long shadow over the other characters. Superman and Batman have both been portrayed by several actors. However, there has only ever been one Wolverine, and even after all this time, Jackman is still associated with this role. Regarding Deadpool, we're still unsure of whether he'll be from a separate universe in Deadpool 3, or whether the film will reveal he's been lurking in the MCU all along. Regardless, we are delighted to have him, and with Ryan Reynolds in charge of his long-running persona, we're sure everything will work out just great, just like it always does. And if you liked our content, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And in the meantime, have a good one and be safe, and thank you all.
We're definitely naming our kids Cher! Woo!